And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wisdom Transmissions Gathering, where I am airing this both on Rumble and YouTube. So I hope you are all doing well today. We're going to have another exciting broadcast taking place. Hope you are all doing well. We're going to start off with first the announcements. Then after announcements, we'll be getting into an inner practice that I'll be sharing with each of you, and then getting into an Adronis transmission. After our Adronis transmissions, we'll be taking Q&A from the audience, both on Rumble and on YouTube. And then finally, we'll be ending with a group healing session today as well. So a lot of stuff to look forward to today. Tomorrow, I will be back again with the Signpost Live. Signpost Live will also be airing both on YouTube and on Rumble as well, too. So this will be the way of things, that I'll have YouTube and Rumble simulcast. I'm using a program here called StreamYard. So it's enabling me to broadcast simultaneously on both of those platforms. So very exciting. Anyways, we're going to go ahead now and start off with some announcements.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etherx.co.
And of course, we're going to move on to the next part here, which is the Etherix website. So this is etherx.co. Okay. And if you go down the page, you'll see that we have 23% off all products store-wide. So no discount code is necessary. This is good until April 14th. The Source massage mats are 10% off. Okay, so because they're a little bit more higher in price, so they have a bit of a smaller discount. But all of this is available right now onto etherx.co. Okay, so that's AETHERX.co. You can check it out there. We can also look more into the newest arrivals, right? So we have the super flashlights, we have the Taurus blankets, the Source massage mat, the wooden rejuvenation arrays, visor eye masks, pet collars, socks, the smaller Source flashlight, the Organite pyramid, the Organite Source necklace. So there's a whole lot of products that we have on etherx.co. So you can go ahead and check that out. And here is wisdomtransmissions.com. All right, so if I go over to sessions and just click on group Q&A sessions. So I'm offering this right now for everyone. So basically how the group Q&A sessions work is that I do have a maximum of up to 8 people on Zoom, but I do work with each person one at a time. Now, I'm also going to be editing the recorded video that I get from the session, and basically editing the portion of the video just for yourself. All right, so if I have 8 sessions, then I basically edit 8 different videos and send it individually to all 8 people. Okay, so again, you have time with me. It's really no more different than if I was to do group sessions in the past, right? Where basically a person would come on video, come on audio, and they would talk to me for a little bit, and then I do their session. Then that is completed. Then, of course, another person comes on, and I do their session, and that completes. So it still has the essence of the private sessions to it. Now, through the group Q&A sessions, I'm doing private sessions. I'm doing distance healing as well, too. So the distance healing option is also there. Also, if you just don't want to attend live, if you want to just leave 3 questions, like a 3-question sessions by email of how I used to do it, you can also do that as well too. Okay, so there are offline sessions available through the group Q&A session, whether it's a distance healing or whether it is a 3-question session. So you can leave that there. So again, I do these every single Monday, twice a day on Monday, one at 10 a.m. from 12 p.m. and then the other one from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so you can book an online Q&A session here with me. It's $33 per session. Okay, so that's if you want to have live time with me, or if you want to have a distance healing request, up to 3 areas, or again, a 3-question by email. So that is available here as well too. So again, just through the session, the form here, you can say if you'll be attending live, if you want a 3-question session, if you want a distance healing, if you want to have a preferred time of doing it in the morning or the afternoon. And of course, more options for offline clients, uploading your photo as well too. So this is all for $33. Okay, and this is available right now on wisdomtransmissions.com. Okay, so you can go ahead and check that out. And our final announcement is, of course, the WOW Tours. where we are doing the Bosnian tours and ancient healing tour. Okay, Bosnian pyramids, I should say. Etherics, Bosnian pyramids, and ancient healing tour. Okay, so this gives you all information about the schedule. Like I said, we're going to be viewing the ancient pyramid of the sun. Okay, and these are, again, just giving you some beautiful images of what the tour is going to be like, going through Bosnia, looking at sacred sites, looking at sacred spaces. These look gorgeous here. We're going to be looking at a temple. We're going to be looking at beautiful waterfalls. Looks like some good food here as well, too. We're going to be staying at the Pyramid Lodge on the Pyramid of the Sun. So again, gorgeous setting, gorgeous surroundings. Got a little place for yoga as well, too. We're also going to be staying at the Hotel Villa Meydan Mostar. Okay, so again, all these different places we're going to be visiting. The travel tour package information here. So again, if you are interested, just go to wowtours.de. Okay, so it's wowtours.de and check it out. I'm looking forward to this. It's another adventure we're going to be going on between September 15th to September 22nd. So feel free to check that out at wowtours.de. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. Again, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I can see that there's already some questions that are coming on the chat. That's excellent. So again, we'll be getting into some of the questions here in a little bit. First and foremost, we're going to be doing an inner practice. So the inner practice here today is we're going to be working a little bit more deeper with the breath. Okay, so we're going to do the Rachaka pranayam, but I want you also to be aware of a lot more about the entire universe that is contained inside the breath. There have been people throughout the years who have been asking me, oh, Brad, how am I able to get into this universal knowledge, right? You connect with Adronis or you connect with the source and you're able to do these things. How am I able to do that? What do you do? Well, a lot of it is involving connecting with the breath because the entire universe resides within the breath. You see, the nature of oxygen itself is not just an earthly phenomenon. The nature of how oxygen itself is created comes through light. And that light itself is coming through the radiation of the sun that touches the atmosphere. The sun's radiation touches the atmosphere creates a conversion, transmutation process, taking that light and synthesizing it into gaseous states, where we have hydrogen, where we have oxygen, where we have nitrogen, etc. So everything pertaining to what we breathe, the gaseous phenomena, that's not even really what we're looking at. We're looking at the energy behind it. That energy from the sun resides throughout the entire universe. So if you can connect to the microcosmic nature of prana, of energy, of consciousness through the breath, that's what's enabling you to connect to everything. That's what's enabling you to connect from the microcosm to the macrocosm. So what we're going to do in this breath work today through Rachaka is I want you guys to focus a lot more on the essence, on the energy of the breath as we breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds and then breathing out the nose for 8 seconds. Okay. And you're discovering the inner worlds. You're discovering the cosmos. You're discovering the celestial sphere that represents all life that can be felt through the breath, right? In Hindu traditions, they refer to this as breathing in Hanuman, right? The god of air, and breathing out Hanuman, right? So you're breathing in the divine, you're breathing out the divine, and you're focusing not so much on the gaseous state of the oxygen, but you're focusing on the prana within the oxygen, the prana within the air, and feeling the entire scope of the universe through what you breathe in and what you breathe out. I've often referred to this in the past as the cosmic breath. So that's what we're going to be doing here today, is just working with the Rachaka breath, 4 seconds into the nose, 8 seconds out to the nose, and just letting yourself feel the energy, the essence of the entire universe from within the breath and as the breath leaves you. Okay, so let's do that together now. Keeping your back nice and straight, spine nice and straight, engaging the abdomen. Okay, so when I just say engaging, I'm not saying sucking in all the way like this. Okay, just a light, tight engagement of the abdomen here. Okay, this is what we refer to as a navel lock. So you are performing a navel lock here on the abdomen. And again, keeping the prana contained here in the chest. This is your immune system right here. Everything that's contained in the chest pertaining to your energy is the energy of your immune system. So when we keep it slightly locked, when we keep it slightly tight, we are increasing the potency, the integrity, the vitality of that prana. And that's what's going to improve your immune system. All right. So let's go ahead now and begin tightening the abdomen. Swallow. Go ahead and do that first. So no saliva is getting in the way through your breathing. Okay. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. Feel the universe coming in as you breathe in. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. Feel yourself breathing the universe as you exhale. And in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. Breathing in all of the cosmos as you inhale. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. Feel the cosmos, feel the light of the sun as you breathe in. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. Breathe out the universe, breathe out the cosmos, breathe out the sun. And in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. And in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Okay, so it's just a matter of continuing to breathe. It's just a matter of continuing to feel, again, the essence of the entire universe coming in. You're not going to get it the first day, okay? Very, very unlikely. But the more that you're continuing to practice this, because you'll notice that when I bring in Adronis, I'm going into these deeper breathing states. I'm going into pranayama. I'm doing what's known as ujjayi pranayama quite commonly, right? Bringing him in. And a lot of his communication really does come through the breath, right? There is a link up, there is a connection energetically, but also everything in regards to how I breathe is enabling me to get that information from Adronis to actually come through, because I can feel it coming through the breath, right? That's the amazing thing about this. And like I said, it's taken me years to really develop that altogether. Again, depending on the teacher that you have, this doesn't have to take years. This can be done within weeks. This can be done within months, right? So what I'm basically telling you as an instructor is being able to not only just feel the air coming into your nostrils, coming into your lungs, and then breathing it out, but also feeling the energy, feeling the essence, feeling like you're breathing in the entire cosmos and then breathing out. And the cosmos is talking to you, right? And Adronis is just an ambassador, just a representative for the cosmos, right? All his information that he receives is, again, cosmic information. We could call it the Akashic records. We could call it universal knowledge and so forth. But all of it comes through the power of the prana through the breath, the prana through ourselves, the prana that contains the akasha, the ether, right? Everything there is coming through the breath. So the more that you're practicing this and say, okay, I realize I'm breathing in oxygen and I'm breathing out carbon dioxide, but I'm focusing much more on the energy inside the breath. And then you're getting places, right? And you're just tuning into the breath and you're noticing you're just getting these impulses, because that's all that the channeling state is through me. It's not about Adronis just coming here, I see a floating head, and he's just whispering into my ear, and then I'm regurgitating that. It does not work that way. He works through intuitive impulse. His intuitive impulse, I receive his thoughts. I receive his transmission, and it's happening at the same time that I'm speaking. So it's not about, oh, Adronis is saying this, okay, repeat that, and it's like that. That's not what's happening at all, right? This is all simultaneous communication. This is all simultaneous link up. This is simultaneous synergetic vibration, right? As he thinks, I think. As he speaks, I speak. As he expresses, I express, right? That's the nature of it. There's times where I really don't even see him. It's not so much in the idea where I'm seeing this 7-foot tall, blonde-haired Syrian, right, just standing next to me doing that. That's never really happened, right? I certainly do get visions of him, but even those visions don't even really come when I'm communicating in this way. It's just a link up. It's just a feeling. It's just a knowing that he is here, and I feel him. I feel that connection, and the communication begins, right? So I know a lot of you are curious about when I go ahead and I bring transmissions in with Adronis, and that is exactly what's happening. Okay, so again, it's a mutual, simultaneous connection where we're sharing the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same information at the same time. All right, great. So we will go ahead and start off with Adronis, all right, and bring in a transmission with him. I'm not too sure what he wants to talk about first, but we'll get into that when he comes through. So again, guys, thank you very much for being here. After the Adronis transmission, I will go ahead and begin with the Q&A from everybody here that is on both YouTube and Rumble. So again, hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad that you're here. So I'll go ahead and bring him in, and we will get started. Here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We are here at this time. We bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, to get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will speak to you today specifically around the topic of how we see humanity. And we are simply looking at this from our, as you would say, Syrian perspective here, because we do work with thousands and thousands of others who are also in association with working together with your world. So we're not just speaking on an individual level here, but we are also speaking on a collective level here. Adronis, with everything that you see that's happening on the planet, with everything that you see that is happening together with humanity, how does the greater cosmic community, or rather yourself, how do you see us with what's taking place here right now? We see a civilization that is greatly maturing. We see a civilization that is about to take their power back. We see a civilization that is now realizing the roots that have been implanted so deeply into themselves, so deeply into the earth, and they are now taking those old roots and pulling them out of the ground. They are taking those old roots and they are pulling it out of themselves. And this is leading you into something far more grander. We understand that right now, even as what we are witnessing, your world is going through a very intense situation where there are clusters of events taking place, where many of you are feeling that your freedoms are in jeopardy when in reality they're not, where you feel in that sense your own homeliness is in jeopardy when in fact it's not, where you feel that your own body and mind are in jeopardy when in fact it's not, where you feel that your own future, as you call it, is in jeopardy when in fact it's not. It's made to look that way, but it's not. Why do we say this? Because again, human beings are still attempting to understand how powerful they are. You don't know your power. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know that through what is within you, the strength, the true vitality, the very essence of your being that is within you, you don't realize that just like that, things can shift through you. And this is all coming through the idea of old programming where you believe, well, Adronis, it's going to take me time. It's going to take me time to shift. It's going to take me time to calibrate. It is going to take me time to lift myself up all the way to the mountaintop before I can truly see what's going on. Well, therefore, that is what you have validated. But as we have said many, many times, just like this, you have the ability to perceive everything. But again, the reason why you cannot see that is because you are fixated on looking at things from a material perspective, looking at everything that represents a physical logicalness, that requires a physical intellectual perception. And that's fine if you decide to do that and you start to transition yourself past that and start walking up the stairwell to, as we would say, the mountaintop, the summit. That certainly can be done. That is one way of doing it. Yes, and that's quite a common way as well. But we are basically talking about that if you are here in the valley, with a snap of a finger, you're now here at the top of the mountain. That's what you're capable of. Now, the majority of you will not even consider doing that. Nonetheless, we're here to remind you that that is possible. Many of you in that sense will take the scenic route up the mountain. This large spiraling stairwell that moves all the way up to the top of the summit. Many of you, in fact, the great majority of you, are going to take that path. But what we're talking about in that sense does not even involve a path, but a realization. It is realization that brings you from the valley all the way up to the summit. That takes realization. And it's really only set for a certain few who can see themselves. This is why Brad is teaching you a lot about working with the power of the breath, not because of its oxygen content, but because of life that resides within the breath. Did you know that every single world, every single galaxy, every single dimension, every single plane of existence resides within the breath? Every single one. The entire cosmos resides in what you breathe in and what you breathe out. You are always breathing in the universe, breathing out the universe. It can't happen any other way. Because the nature of the prana behind the breath is universal in nature. You see, when you realize that, that's skipping you out of the valley and bringing you up into the summit. Just by realizing that. Not just saying, oh, well, that's an interesting idea or that's an interesting concept, and then you're trying to intellectualize it. You see, realization does not come through intellectualizing. Can't be done. And this is what a majority of you do. You try to intellectualize your spirituality. You try to intellectualize your own nature of growth. You can't. Can't be done. You have to realize what it is. It's like the idea of going to school, and here's an exam paper placed on your desk. Now, you can go through the entire intellectual drama and basically try to complete that test by remembering through memory of everything that you were studying and then being able to put that down on paper. That's the intellectual path. Basically, what we would say is that when that exam paper is being thrown upon your desk, you're able to answer every single question without recalling memory at all. You're able to bring about all of the information to which that exam asks for to test your knowledge, where it's simply just all done within a matter of seconds. You didn't have to research anything. You didn't have to memorize anything. You didn't even really need to intellectualize within yourself to find out what's the answer. You already know it. Well, that's what we're talking about here. And this is where we see humanity going in the times to come. There will be a time upon the planet Earth where humanity will be so incredibly advanced, the world as you know it will not even look the way that it is now. It will be a completely different world. Can you imagine looking at the Earth in her full splendor, where all of her forests, all of her jungles, all of her natural splendor is completely 100% restored? Can you imagine land masses that have sunk to the bottom of the ocean now rising up again? So that there is actually extra landmass that is now starting to come back upon the surface of your planet, because that's where you're going. Can you imagine orbital cities above your Earth, above the atmosphere, that again look like natural splendors, just orbiting around your planet, because that's what's coming? Can you imagine your moon becoming a lot more green? That it is going to have forests, that it is going to have lakes, that it is going to have bodies of water, and it will resemble something to the degree of your own Earth, because that's what's coming. Can you imagine dozens and dozens of different off-world civilizations that are now sharing the Earth together with each and every one of you? Because that's what's coming. So what you're going through right now is the last tail end of the storm, where you are saying farewell to all of these particular ego programs that have helped you to become better. Which means the shadow is helping you to become better, because when you oppose everything that the shadow represents, you have learned past the shadow. And that's how we see humanity growing. You are outgrowing past your shadow. You are going to move into great states of realization that is going to propel you personally and collectively. That's where we see humanity. We see you, as always, as gods in training. And we mean that very literally. Well, Adronis, I only live in this body, and I only live a certain amount of time, and if I was really a god, would I be doing all these things? Yes, you would, actually. Because that's you taking the curriculum of life, where you feel that you are little. You feel that you are feeble. You feel that you are this mortal being in that sense. But when you incorporate spirit together with the body, you realize that this body is an instrument that can show you many things, grants you many experiences. But you also realize that working together with the body and mastering it brings you much more closer to godliness, despite the nature of its mortal duration of lifespan. Because if you simply just see yourself as the body, you're seeing yourself as a mortal. You're seeing yourself again as this form. And even though this body is the most sophisticated body altogether, you are here to learn how to master it. Not trying to get it in living longer for hundreds or thousands of years. That's not really the point. You certainly can if you wish, but that's not the idea of what we talk about as mastering the body. It's where you and the body are simpatico with one another, which means that when you know that there's a pain, a stiffness, a soreness in your body, you instantly know what it is, and you instantly know how to resolve it. When you are, again, testing the body, working together with its physical activity, you know exactly how to move it into such an optimal level of physical prowess that you don't become exhausted. You're also able to tune into the body and know exactly what it requires, and you give it what it needs. And even if that body lasts so much as 50 years, you've mastered it. If it lasts as long as 25 years, you've mastered it. If it lives as long as 12 years, 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, but yet you have that realization, that simpatico nature with the body, you've mastered it. Age does not matter. And many of you think that the mastering of the body includes the idea of you having to live 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 5,000 years, etc. It's not to say that you can't, but that's not the point. Can you speak the language of the body? Can you know exactly what it needs? Do you know exactly when it is being put into harm's way and how to resolve it? That's what makes a masterful body what it is. It is when you are completely in alignment with this instrument to provide everything it requires so the body can give you the most blessed experiences, bringing you closer to godliness. That's the idea. So therefore, when you are moving into realizing who you are, that you're here in this body, yes, you have a body. Yes, you're working with the mind. The body is your support system. The mind is your support system. They are instruments. They are helping you to master yourself to form equilibrium and balance with life. That's the idea. Now, we cannot elaborate on that further because it's all about personal experience. It's all about your personal journey. It's about what you are able to discover, because even with what we describe, we're only giving you a roadmap. We're only giving you a template. What you do through this body, who you interact with, what you are able to achieve, what you now know of life is your journey. Here's the roadmap. You need to get out the highlighter and you need to start charting your own path. Everybody will always have their own path. And that is the greatness of humanity that is to come. That's where we see you. We have always seen you as the gods in training, to where at some particular point, you will be the gods. And you will go to other worlds. And you will aid other civilizations, just as we have aided you. As above, so below. And the cycle will continue to repeat. All right? We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now begin your question and answer period. One moment, please. Okay, so let's go ahead now and get started with some Q&A. So again, welcome everybody from YouTube. Welcome everybody from Rumble as well too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We do have a donation here from Babito7. Okay, and I will go ahead and star Babito there. Okay. All right, so Babito asks, Adronis, is it true that it takes a strong soul to incarnate on Earth? Are we humans really strong and brave spirits? So it's a very interesting question, because Adronis did a video with me a while back called The Bravest of Souls. Okay, so yes, Babito, we'll go ahead and we'll look into your question about a strong soul incarnating on the Earth here. All right, one moment as I just Get myself comfortable in the chair. All right, here we go. We thank you very much, Babito7, for your question about, is it true that it does involve a brave soul, a brave spirit to incarnate here on the earth? Not just brave, but the idea of one in that sense who is harmonized. It takes what you would know as a very harmonized soul to actually even have the ability to incarnate on this planet as a human being. You have to understand that what that takes are many, many, many lifetimes of selfless service. Every single human being has had to do that to come here, which means you have had to go to hundreds or even thousands of worlds working together in such a selfless way for you to actually get the invitation energetically to be here. That's what it takes. Again, as many of you realize what you term as your Jesus the Christ, and understanding exactly what he did, that's what it takes. That's what it takes for such a soul to therefore get this invitation energetically, to vibrationally feel aligned to come here and ask to come here and to incarnate. Because that's what many of you have done. What did you do? Mother Earth asked for my assistance. She knew what I was capable of and asked me to come here. I accepted and I came. That's it. That's how the majority of you have come here. You got the invitation because you have to understand that the nature of incarnation has always played by the rule of by invitation only. This is not just the idea where you're making the decision and say, okay, I'll go to the Pleiades. Okay, I'll go to Sirius. Okay, I'll go to Andromeda. Okay, I'll go to Arcturus. You don't just show up at the door. You're invited. That's how incarnation works. Incarnation has always been and always will be by invitation only, which means a planet, a world, a mother invites you to come into her womb. And behold, here you are, incarnated in the flesh, brought forward through the womb of the mother, to which the womb of the planetary mother has also birthed you. And that's the way. That's the idea. That's the nature of the universe. That the man himself brings forward the seed, and the woman herself brings forward the creation. And the body itself, in that magnificent splendor, in that magnificent life alchemy, brings forward a physical body. So you could say that, yes, it is indeed about the bravest of souls that come here, because they look at the situation and they do not tremble. They look at exactly what's happening upon the earth right now. They see that many people are in suffering and they do not tremble. They simply stand up and saying, I'm here to serve. The closest analogy we can give you is looking at soul missionaries. Because when you look at this from the ego perspective, you're going to grumble about this. What was I thinking coming down to this planet in this kind of intensity that it's going through, in this kind of turmoil, dealing with these kind of parents, dealing with these kind of friends, dealing with this kind of government? What could I have possibly been thinking? You weren't thinking. You stood up and said, I will come. And that's it. You stood up and said, you will come. You were very much aware of what was happening on the planet. You were not ignorant to that. But it is no more different than a person who's watching your own television set, who sees all of these children in foreign lands suffering. And there's something within them where they say, I want to be of service. I want to help those little children. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to help them. You stand up and you said, I will go. The exact same thing taking place here on the planet, like a missionary. You come to the earth, you see people suffering, you see people hurt, you see people losing their way. I'm going to make a difference. I stand up, I will go. That's what you've all done, really. Great majority of you. And again, this is why we say it is the bravest of souls, but it is also harmonized souls that have come here because they have spent lifetime after lifetime, if we're looking at this linearly, helping other worlds to improve. Many of you call those particular type of beings starseeds, that they go to different worlds and that they assist in the upliftment of true consciousness. They system bust all of these artificial grids, artificial contraptions, technologies, systems altogether are basically collapsing, and new seeds start to blossom. New plants, new thriving of a new way of life, which represents the true way of life, now starts to take place. And you're doing the same thing here. Earth just represents a different kind of world. She is a world that is a bridge to the higher dimensions, or she can be a world that is a bridge to the lower dimensions. You see, she is a neutral planet. Your own Earth is a neutral planet, and she has two paths. There's a path that leads up, and there's a path that leads down. And think of this as a planet that is right on the boundary between the higher heavens and the lower nether worlds. The nether worlds or the nether regions right here, and the higher heavens up here. You can go either way because she's the bridge between the two. This is why we refer to her as the God world. She has the ability through everything that is upon her for you to learn how to become magnificent as a god or as confused as a demon. Up to you. But she is, again, that central point. She is the nexus. She is the boundary. She is the neutral world between, as you would term loosely, heaven and hell. She sits in the middle. And it's up to you. Because in the ancient times, you had a lot of beings from the netherworlds coming upon the earth that were necessary because of the lessons that would follow through their arrival. And now you have a lot of them spewing out of the earth, going back into these nether regions, while again, there is a little bit more of an ascendancy that if we would say to where the earth is on this boundary point, she would be about 51% up higher towards the heavens. And there will come a time where a lot more of that will be much more heavenly based, which means she's now starting to collapse the nether regions. She's collapsing the nether regions because she's making an ascendancy. And she's going to go up a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. She's no longer at the exact center of the boundary that we're referring to. That is now starting to collapse. That is now starting to cave because she is now starting to move herself into becoming a higher heavenly sphere. And there will be another world down the road that will take her place as the nexus between the two. So she's giving up the nexus point where she's going to start elevating herself up. In the past, in the ancient past, she was right here on the middle point of the boundary. And now she's starting to move up. And as she's moving up, everything that represents that riffraff, everything that represents the nether regions needs to be excreted out. She needs to get lift. And you can't have lift if you're still heavy with all of those nether energies. The nether energies have to go. Every stone needs to be turned. Humanity needs to say farewell to old systems that have never served them. And those who are addicted to the systems and who do not want to leave them are going to fall with the systems. Because that's not where you're going. The earth has made this decision where she is moving upwards to becoming a higher heavenly sphere. And she's going to continue to move up past 51%, 52, 53, 54, 55, etc. And while that's happening, everything's spewing out of her bottom pertaining to the nether energies. They all got to go. Can't stay. They all have to shift. And who is it that's helping her along with the progress? Those who have volunteered. The bravest of souls, the harmonized of souls, are being her immune system to helping her shake loose all of the nether energies that are no longer a part of her cosmic plan. So she now starts to move into her ascension of becoming a higher heavenly sphere. This is why throughout ancient cultures, you're looking at the idea of a new world forming, entering into another world phase. And that is completely correct. She's moving into another heaven. She's moving into another crossing of being a higher world. And there will be a planet that will be taking her place. You will know what that planet is in the centuries to come, because even if we told you, you still wouldn't understand. It's something that needs to be experienced, because another planet is going to take the place of being the nexus planet in between those particular boundary points, between the high heavens and between the nether regions. All right? We thank you very much for your question. Okay, great. Wow. Adronis has never revealed that before. So that is very, very interesting. Okay. So he's talking about another planet that is going to take the role of where the earth was. That again will be that center point between the heaven and the nether realms. Very interesting. See what you can access when you start listening to the breath, right? Very good. So Abito 7, very good question. Thank you very much for your question. All right. So we're going to go up to the top of the chat. Again, if you guys do have any priority questions that you want to have in the sequence, just feel free to leave a donation either on Rumble and YouTube, and I will get to your priority question, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and look at Mary's question here, okay? Mary says, hi, Brad, colloidal silver, is it good for wounds? Are there side effects? Thank you. I have personally used colloidal silver. I can only really just tell you about my experiences as well, too, okay? So whether you're talking about colloidal silver or, again, clustered silver, there's another term for it, right? Silver in that sense, it basically has a little bit more of an increase of parts per million relating to silver ore. I'm trying to remember the name of it. There's one company that uses it called thankyousilver.com. Okay, and I used to work with them quite a bit, but I've kind of gotten past the silver because I'm working with radiate. I'm working with harmonizing a lot of my injuries with etherics and radiate technology right now. But I have used colloidal silver or structured silver. That's the term I'm looking for. I have used it, and I've used it especially in the past where I've had toothaches, I've had tooth problems, okay, where I've had sore throats, where I've had indigestion, and I would use structured silver or colloidal silver, and it benefited it greatly. It didn't get rid of it right away, but after a few times, it started to majorly improve the situation. I have not personally had any side effects with colloidal silver. I have not had any particular side effects with structured silver, but I'm just talking about myself, okay? I can't guarantee that that's the same thing with you. Now, here's something that I do have a problem with, copper cups, okay? There's people that talk about copper cups, right? If you're basically taking like a copper jug and you're pouring water into it and then you're letting it sit and then you're drinking the copper. I've done that, and I had a terrible reaction to it. My sinuses basically flared up. Right? I had a really horrible reaction to drinking copper water. Okay, and I'm only talking about myself. Someone else may drink it, and it's completely fine with them. But I'm only talking about my experiences here. So is colloidal silver good for wounds? Well, as they talk about with colloidal silver, it can certainly be used beneficially to help in cleaning out a wound. Okay, like I said, I've had wounds in my gums. I've had wounds as well too, cuts, and I put a little bit of dab of silver on it, and it certainly has helped. So for me, and I can only speak for myself, it has helped. Yes. Okay. But like I said, it just depends on you. Some people may have an allergy to it. That's quite possible. Right. So I would suggest maybe just try it off and sample it first. Start off very, very small. And if that feels good, then keep utilizing it. So like I said, I had a reaction to copper water, and I definitely will not be doing it again, but I've always been good with silver. So Mary, that's what I can share about that. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go down here a little bit more. And hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Okay. So guys, I'm not going to be doing personal healing requests today. Okay. Everything's just going to be coming through a group session. I'm no longer doing the personal requests through the webcasts anymore, because I just want to work together on a group capacity level with you. And I'm encouraging you to do that. If you guys do want to do personal healing requests with me, then order a session. Okay. Go to wisdomtransmissions.com, right? Website's right here. Go to wisdomtransmissions.com, drop an order. Okay, it's $33 per session, and you can certainly ask for a distance healing with me. All right, and every Monday I do it, so I'm happy to work with you there. But all I'm doing right now through the sessions is just group healing, and that will be coming after the Q&A. Okay, so again, thank you for your questions. All right. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm seeing that quite a few people are asking for healing requests. Like I said, just join me for the group healing session. Okay, join me there, and we're going to work on areas that are causing you problems. Now, like I said, guys, the most important thing is working together with the breath, right? If you are ever sore, if you have stiffness, if you have a problem with your leg or your abdomen or your stomach, whatever it may be, just take your hands like this, rub them together. Okay, and get a really good friction there, and just put it upon the area of the body that is hurting. Okay, and I want you just to follow the breath. Like I said, you're not breathing in oxygen, you're breathing in prana, you're breathing in the life force of the universe. That's how I want you to see it, and just breathing it in and just feeling like this large orb of light is just filling that area that is compromised. And when you're breathing out all of that rancid energy that is from that wound, that's from that soreness, that stiffness. Okay. And I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do this today. And you just continue to breathe in and continue to breathe out, and you're going to watch it subside. Do not breathe in oxygen, breathe in prana. Do not breathe out oxygen, breathe out the stale prana. Okay. And that's how it works. It's very, very simple. All of you are capable of healing yourselves, and that's what I'm trying to teach you. You don't need me, and you don't need others to heal you. Okay, it's good if you're just starting off with this and you want somebody to offer you assistance. Okay, great. But if that's constantly what you're doing, you're missing out on a great opportunity to see the power that you hold. You're a human being like anybody else, and you have this power. And all I'm attempting to do is teaching you how to unleash this power. And that's what we'll do today in the group session, okay, in the group healing. All right. So let's take a look here at Burgundy Rose. Hello, Burgundy. Adronis, is it true that there will be a major event sometime in 2025? David Wilcox spoke about it through his micro-channelings. Okay, thank you. All right, well, I'll go ahead and now ask Adronis about that. If there's a major event coming in 2025, let's take a look. We thank you very much for your question, Burgundy. Well, we want you to know that there is a major event coming in 2024 first. All right? There is a major event that is going to be taking place closer to your summertime of 2024. All right. This major event is going to help you to shift to the next level. It is again letting you know of a great exposure. It is letting you know in that sense of something that will be revealed that relied on a specific technology that you may not be aware of, but the technology is really not the important factor here. It's looking much more into the idea about what you're doing to overcome this hurdle that you are going to experience in 2024. All right. So sometime around the summer, we estimate that this big event will happen. Adronis, will it be a worldwide phenomenon? It will occur at a certain area, but the whole world will be made aware of it. Yes. All right. It is something that will affect the planet. But again, it is a major event that's helping you to shift up and investigate and look deeper into such things so that you're climbing up another stair. You're moving up to another level. Now, if we're looking at 2025, well, you have several major events taking place that, again, momentum-wise, can align together with your 2025 year. And a lot of it, again, involves severe exposure. A lot of it, again, represents truths that are being revealed about how some things were being brought into your culture that were artificially created, that were manufactured. So again, this can relate to the idea of wars. This can relate to the idea of leaders. This can relate to the idea of your political systems. This can relate to viral systems. This can relate to science. So again, these are other things that are looking to unfold that, again, can be aligned to your 2025 year. If not 2025, then approximately 2026. But you still have a major event to come right now in 2024 that we estimate is going to be coming around the summertime. All right. It's a major event. It is something that may happen, perhaps one local area or a couple local areas all together, but it's something that the whole world is going to witness. All right. It is not leading to any loss of life on a major level or anything of that nature, but it's something important for you to see because it's showing you exactly what a lot of these so-called elected leaders have been putting a lot of their energies towards to try to manifest this very thing happening. And it will be considered as an isolated incident when, in fact, again, the entire world will be aware of this. And it is going to instigate a great deal of change. So those are the hints, those are the breadcrumbs that we can give you from something that is looking to take place approximately around the summer of 2024 as we read the momentum of manifestation now. All right? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Burgundy, for your questions. I hope that helped you. All right. Okay, so we'll take a look here at Jan's question here. Hi, Brad. A question. What Adronis can tell us about the Rosicrucians? Is their knowledge, trusting? Are they part of the Masons who's supposed to work with lower vibes? Thank you very much. Okay. So Adronis can talk a little bit more about the Rosicrucians. I'm aware of some of their rituals altogether, okay, and aware of some of their groups relating to that. Okay, so one moment as Adronis brings information regarding the Rosicrucians forward. We thank you very much for your question as it pertains to what you term as the Rosicrucian order. The Rosicrucian order has utilized certain forms of, as you would say, rituals and practices that does go back to Freemasonry, that goes back into Illuminati sects, that goes back into ancient secret societies. However, their intention is not to pervert these rituals as some of the aforementioned groups have. You see, there was a time where Freemasonry was pure. There was a time where, as you term, Illuminati sacred orders were pure. You see, a lot of these sacred societies, these secret societies and sacred societies, were around to assist in the evolution of humanity. And they would basically stay clandestine. What you're seeing right now, nowadays, is nothing compared to what those original orders represent. Freemasonry represented something of those particular people that were aiding in the evolutionary consciousness of the planet. And there are still some original groups in Freemasonry that still want to uphold that. You see, many of you hear about Freemasons and you hear about Illuminati and New World Order and all of that, and you immediately paintbrush it as being evil. And that is ignorance. It's not to say that there aren't some groups that have perverted ancient ways. There certainly is that. But again, you're looking at everything through black and white. And that is ignorance. When you're looking at the nature of Freemasonry, Illuminati, all of these different forms of sacred groups, there are some, again, who have perverted a lot of the ancient ways. And that is basically what has led to some of those branching off into higher levels of government, higher levels of authority, etc. But you also have to understand that there are the purer ones. And they are also in higher branches of government, and they are also in higher positions of authority on your planet. It is not so much of thinking that everything's black hat the more that you go up higher. You would be wrong. You would be completely incorrect. Because again, you have to look at everything as a gradient. And that gradient touches everything pertaining to the lower, middle, and higher echelons representing your human systems. Which means there are those in that sense who will pervert, and there will be those in that sense who will harmonize. So when you're looking at the Rosicrucians, a lot of, in that sense, of what came forward through the Rosicrucians came through a great deal of study. It came through personal practices. It came through experiences of those who have had associations with certain groups. But the intention of the Rosicrucians have always been brought forward in a benefic quality, not a malefic one. The Rosicrucians have truly been about the idea of producing seeds that will evolve humanity, not stagnate it. All right? Because they represent like a hybrid of many of the ancient ways, ancient rituals, ancient societies, ancient orders. But basically taking and trimming out a lot of the unnecessities that would be in that sense questionable to utilize. You would understand that the Rosicrucians have a lot more pertaining to, as you would say, a white hat nature. Right? Now, it's not to say that what they teach cannot be perverted. Anything can be perverted. But it's not through the group itself. It's through those in that sense who have learned the ways and have decided to pervert them themselves. Any knowledge can be perverted. And knowledge itself through the disciplined ones can remain intact. It's not about the group. It's about the one that is utilizing those teachings and again, utilizing it for their own harmonious ends, or they can use it for their own stagnant, perverted ends. This again is what you have to understand. Is when you've looked at corruption on the planet, you think again that it is under the umbrella of some particular type of group, when it's much more about the person who has taken those teachings and utilized influence to bring it into a type of perversion. It's the person. And that person will have influence, and they will have their own offshoot group. Because that person's influence, again, looks at it through the nature of a hierarchy, where there are roots that go down, and they have subservience working together with them. So again, it's not as cut and dry as so many of you think it is. Thinking that there's this group, there's the Illuminati, there's the Freemasons, and they're all evil. You are ignorant. Simple as that. It does not work that way. It is the idea, again, of the person, of one who considers themselves the authority to take those particular type of teachings and turn them upside down. And through them, they may create a group, an order, an organization, because their influence is so great, because they've been able to magnetize and expand their influence tremendously. This, again, all falls down to one person, not a group mentality. You see? This is where humanity gets confused. You look at all these things and immediately think, oh, it's because of this group. Anyone who's Illuminati, oh, awful. Anybody who's Freemason, oh, awful. Anybody who's Rosicrucian, oh, awful. Ignorance. As we've stated, life itself is a gradient. It is not black and white. It is not cut and dry. It is not just yin and yang where you think it's just black and white. That's ignorance. You have to look at the gradient of life, because that's what it is. It is a mixture of energies. It is a shifting of energies. You are looking at a person. You are looking what is inside them, and you see the gradient. And it is not about trying to cast judgment on every single person who you think you deem is evil. You wouldn't have a clue in regards to who they really are. You don't even know yourself, let alone think that you know anybody else. These are things that you have to understand. So when you're looking at Rosicrucianism, the Rosicrucianism, in that sense, in its intact nature, from those who have worked to nurture this particular group, has come through the fundamentals of the evolution of humanity. But any person can take their teachings and pervert them. Rosicrucianism does not get perverted. That person that utilized Rosicrucian teachings and turned it upside down perverts it. Someone who learns Freemasonry, who may learn, again, beautiful rituals, beautiful practices that are, again, assisting in the nurturing of life, will take it and shift it upside down. And now through them perverts those teachings. And what gets the blame? Oh, well, it's the group. No, it's not. It is the person that takes those practices, that takes those rituals, that takes that order and turn it upside down and has perverted it. That's how you have what you term as these upside down groups. Not because something in regards to the sacred order is poisonous and harmful. No, it's because those involved who have decided to pervert that has made something that, again, would seem as the upside down teachings. Look at the person. Look at the gradient. And then you will understand. All right? We thank you for your question. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jen. And that's very important to take away, guys, because, again, I've seen so many people just instantly, like I said, guys, if I do this, everybody thinks I'm Illuminati. But again, if I'm looking at ancient Buddha teachings, I'm seeing Buddha doing this all the time. Okay? If I'm going back into ancient Hindu traditions, which are far more older, we're seeing this all the time. And then I'm doing this, right? Maybe I'm doing this too. And it's immediately I'm paintbrushed and think, okay, Brad's Freemason, Brad's Illuminati, Brad maybe he's part of these ancient secret orders, and I could never prove to you that I am or am not, right? But that's not the reason why I do these, right? That's not the reason why I'm doing this or I'm doing this, right? Whatever particular sign that you see me doing. And again, I get paintbrushed and thinking, oh, this guy he's under some sort of like spell from Freemasonry, or he's under a New World Order, Illuminati, and all that stuff, all-seeing eye, who just keeps making all these sixes and all that stuff like that. Is that what you think I'm doing? Do you think I'm making sixes? Then you're ignorant, right? Because that's not the intention. When you're looking at this, you're not looking at a six, okay? Like I said, you're taking a look at somebody in those groups who takes this, say, I'll pervert it. I'll pervert it and think it's a backwards six, and that I'm worshiping Satan. Okay? That's certainly not what the Buddha is doing when he's doing this. This here, and here's what I'm telling you what I'm doing. 5 fingers represent the 5 elements, or the 5 chakras. What is the very first chakra of the body? Okay. Well, we would understand that to be the coccyx. We would understand that to be the base of the spine. Represented by the thumb, that is your earth chakra. Okay. What is the second chakra? Well, that would be the water chakra, the swadhisthana, the second chakra, the sexual chakra, but it deals with fluid, it deals with water. So what happens when I put those together? I am balancing the elements of earth together with water by doing this. Okay. Then we have 3 other chakras linked to 3 other fingers. Okay. Then we go up into the navel chakra, which is linked to the solar plexus. What does that represent? That represents fire. That represents heat, right? You see a person doing this to you. You think they're doing the earth symbol? They're doing the fire symbol. They are flaming at you, right? They're scorching. That's exactly why this was invented, guys. This is the fire finger, okay? A lot of people are confused about what the elements actually mean, and I would say 95% of experts and books that are out there pertaining to what these actually are linked to element-wise are wrong. 95% are wrong, okay? The only ones you're going to find are accurate are the ones that you would find by Paramahansa Yogananda, or again, something like Yukteswara Giri, right? Anything that comes from that lineage, and if you're looking at the Babaji lineage, that would be much more accurate. They are really the only lineage that's actually got it right. Okay, 95% of mudra books, or basically looking at the fingers of elements, you're going to websites, you're going to videos, 95% of them are wrong, right? So I'll tell you here, okay, this is the Akash chakra, the Akash element, wrong. Oh, this is the fire element, wrong. Okay, the 5 fingers are linked to the 5 chakras. Okay. And you always start off with the bottom chakra to where the thumb itself is pointing as the bottom, okay? Because this is at the bottom, right? So that starts off with the earth, water, fire, air, akash, or space, or ether, okay? That is the correct order. And you can even douse about this. You can actually work with subtle tools to confirm that this actually connects with the elements. But it also connects in regards to the structure of the chakras. You have the earth, you have water, you have fire, right? You have air. And then you move all the way up into the throat, which represents Akash, which represents ether, which represents space. Then when you're going up to the brow, then you're going way beyond the elements. You're going past the 5 elements, and you're coming into natural insight. You're coming into like the causal plane. Right? Looking into the 3rd eye, the 6 spinal chakras. This is not a chakra. And that again is where 95% of people get it all messed up. The crown is not a chakra. Okay? It is a gateway. It is a transformer. It has, again, thousands of activations taking place rather than anything that represents the petals of the chakras. You're looking at a 1,000-petal lotus. You're looking at something that is very, very different. So again, that represents what we refer to as a padma, or just a gateway, right? It's a lotus gateway, but it's not a chakra. Chakra is a very different construct, and the crown is not a chakra. So again, guys, that's something that 95% of people get wrong. And so, like I said, if you want to test this for yourself and look at it, go for it. But this has been the discovery, okay? All right, guys, we're running pretty close on time here, so we're probably going to take about 1 or 2 more questions before we get into group healing, okay? Okay, so this one here is from Matthias. Matthias says, Adronis, what are the archangels and angels we can invoke for wealth and health? Okay. All right, 1 moment. We thank you very much, Matthias, for your question. First of all, you have to understand that the question that you are asking is somewhat misconstrued. All right? It is not so much about trying to invoke angels or archangels to bring about optimal health or optimal wealth, right? Because they're not here doing it for you. They would represent, in that sense, an amplifier to a certain degree, and they can help to remove obstacles out of the way. And we would say, quite frankly, there are several different angels to which you can contact, or again, archangels that can help out in some certain way. All right. If you're looking at Raphael, for instance, that represents, in that sense, one who is helping to clear away the path. That actually holds a very strong feminine energy to the Raphael energy, all right, to the Raphael presence, rather. If we're looking at certain angels in that sense, well, again, we would basically say that you want to work much more with your own entourage of angels rather than basically calling upon universal angels. All right. It's more about what is in your entourage that is helping you to clear a path. All right. And a lot of this can be shared by certain degrees of mantras, particularly what you would refer to as bij mantras that go into your Hindu traditions, where you're looking at something like the word Shreem, where Shreem itself represents the idea of purity, it represents luxury, it represents health, it represents grandiose nature. Utilizing something like that can be something that can be beneficial with you with health and wealth. But again, as we've stated, it's about looking into your own entourage when it comes to angels. Now, you can call upon certain angels that are in alignment with your own chakra centers, all right? Which means you have a steward angel for your root chakra. You have a steward angel for your second chakra, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, etc. And again, if you want to look into the idea of clearing a path so that abundance itself can come forward, this is something you can do. The angel that governs my root chakra, that governs the Muladhara, come forward and aid me in helping to clear everything that needs to be clear so that I can build a strong, prosperous foundation with health and with wealth. You see, as we stated, it's not so cut and dry as you believe it, where you just say, "I'll just call in Archangel Michael, he'll cut a bunch of my cords, and that'll be that." No, that's not the way. It's a little more detailed than that. All right. So if we were to get your name here, Matthias, we would say that if we're looking at one particular angel, yes, we could look at for you, if you're looking at the lower chakra, the root chakra for you, we would say that one particular name for you would be Saziel. Okay. S-A-Z-I, capital E, capital L, Saziel. All right. And that's one particular angel who can come in and can help you in facilitating working together with the root chakra so that everything that pertains to the root chakra representing your own personal health and your own personal wealth that brings about a balance to it can therefore happen. But you're working with that energy. Now, we're just going to give you that name for now. We want you to look into the chakras and we want you to feel them talking to you. It's not to say you're going to get that in one night. But this is what you are doing is you're working together with the chakras to working together in association with your guardians, your angels, your stewards. All right. So Saziel is one that you can utilize in that way. Okay. So this goes a little bit more deeper than just looking at angels and archangels and thinking that just by calling them in, they'll clear everything for you. And it does not work that way. You basically have to make a deal with them. They will be more than happy to work with you if what you are feeling by them clearing the pathway is the new pattern that you decide to assign, because they're not just going to keep coming in when you keep going back into your old patterns, you see. You need to work in assigning a new path as you feel the change happen. And as you show yourself that you're making new patterns and you're outlining yourself so that your health and your wealth are improving, and you stay upon those new paths, well, then a greater entourage will come to you. So it's not so cut and dry, again, about just asking for an archangel to come in and do this. That is a distortion. Doesn't work that way. All right? This is about you. You have a lot of helpers. You have a lot of guides. You have a lot of runners and stewards who can assist you. But if you do not do the inner work and change out of an old pattern and come into a new pattern, you're going to notice that you're going to contain yourself back into a bubble again. And they are not going to assist you because you are still reliant on old ways and old systems. And they say, when you break out of those old systems, we will return. That's how it works. All right? The idea of you changing your patterns is what allows this to work a lot further. Not just saying, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, come in and bring about the prosperity of my health and wealth. No, not going to do it. You haven't even learned to work with your own entourage. You haven't even been able to work with your own energies. You go back into old patterns and you stay back into those old patterns and you watch yourself wither away when we're telling you this is all you need to do. So until you actually take that next step, which therefore indicates your faith in changing, we will leave you as you are. And that's the idea. You have to show that you're going to get out of old patterns and come into new ones. So think of it in this way. If Brad did not change his patterns during the time to when we contacted him, we would not be able to contact him. He had to show that he was getting out of these old patterns and coming into new ones. That's the difference here. You have to make the leap. You have to make the commitment. You have to move yourself forward because your team, your entourage will certainly help you to see exactly what it feels like to move in this new direction, but then it bounces back like a rubber band. It's like when you have a healing work done upon you and you feel great, but everything now starts to cave back in on itself because you're not following the path that was shown to you briefly. This is what happens when you let go of that pattern. I feel great. I feel amazing. I feel on top of the world. A few days later, everything caves back in like the returning of a rubber band, and you find yourself in misery again. What happened? I was on top of the world a couple days ago because you didn't follow the pattern. You didn't realize that you needed to let go of all of those old things so that the new can be born. And this does not need to come through a certain angel or a certain archangel. It needs to come through you. Your entourage is here to assist you, but they're not here to serve you with repeating patterns that are just looping all over again. That's not why they're here. They are your instructors. They are your helpers. They are your guides. They are your assistants, but you have to make the leap. So, working with Saziel first, Matthias. And that's going to help you on your way to show if you decide to walk the path that is being shown to you, or if that draws back and going back to square one again. That is your decision. All right? We thank you very much. Okay. So thank you, guys. That's going to conclude our Q&A for today. So again, appreciate all of your questions. Thank you for that. Again, remember that I'll be back tomorrow for the signposts. Okay, so we're going to do group healing here in just a minute, but I'll be back for signposts tomorrow. Again, that will also be airing on Rumble and YouTube as well too. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. So I know there's a lot of other questions that I didn't get around to, right? And like I said, we'll have time for that at a later period. Okay, so we'll always be back next week doing more questions. We have some really big questions here from a lot of people, and there's a lot of big explanations that come. It's because you guys are asking the right kind of questions. So great work on that. Okay. All right. So let's take a look now at the group healing that I was telling you guys about that we did, that I was demonstrating a little bit earlier. Okay, so this is the very first part, is that we're going to be doing a scan. Okay, a scan itself that is going to start from the top of the head, going all the way down to the bottom of the feet. Okay, and you're just doing this just to be aware of any particular forms of tension within the body. Okay, so whether that tension is physical, whether that tension is mental, whether that tension is emotional. Okay, you're just keeping track of that, you're being aware of it. All right, so first thing first, bring your hands together. Okay, give them a good rub. Okay, and I want you just to form a ball, just like this. Okay, and you're just going to hold that ball with one hand, and this is kind of like your scanning ball, your scanning sphere. You're just kind of tuning in to the body, because what this is doing is magnetizing your hand so that you can feel subtle or chaotic states. Okay, even for myself, the throat's still a little bit chaotic there. Okay, a little bit for the lungs as well too, and a little bit for the abdomen. Okay, so I'm just noticing the chaotic states as I go down, right down to the bottom of the feet. Okay, then I just bring myself up again. So I'm just being made aware of the areas of my body that feel a little bit chaotic: the throat, the lungs, the abdomen for myself. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is, secondly, bring the hands together once again, start rubbing them. And I want you just to place it upon the area of your body that you feel you want to work on firstly. Okay, for myself, it's my throat. So I'll basically just do this, do a bit of a crisscross here. Okay, and all I'm doing, see, it is the throat, I'm coughing. Okay, and all I'm doing is I'm just slowly breathing in and slowly breathing out. As I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in all of the goodness. I'm breathing in all of the good prana that's coming directly in the throat. So I'm just making a circle around the throat here. Okay, that's my area of healing. Okay, so I'm just going to be breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, heart rate variability. So I want you just to find your area. Okay, placing your hands there. And again, you're just creating this little circle. You can use a physical gesture like this, or you can just draw it out with your mind. Okay, this little circle here. And we're just putting our hands there. Like I said, you can crisscross them like I'm doing here, which is fine. Okay, taking a deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out for 6. And as you feel the breath leaving, feel all that stagnant prana that is leaving as well. Okay. As you breathe out, stagnant prana goes out. As you breathe in, fresh, pure prana goes in, and it's saturating and illuminating that circle that's in that area. Okay, so let's do that again. Deep breath in. And breathing it out all through the nose. And in. And out. Okay, very good. Now I would go down to the next area. Okay, so I'm basically looking at my lungs. So I'm just drawing a circle around the chest here with the lungs. Okay, and I'm just crossing it down here by the chest and just doing the exact same thing again. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 6. Okay, once again. And out. One more time, inhale. And out. Okay, all we're doing here is pranic breathing, pranic healing. Okay, our last area here is the abdomen, which I'm just drawing a circle around. And again, just crisscrossing the hands just like this. Same thing. Okay, breathing in for 4, breathing out for 6. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Okay. And all I'm doing now is just shaking out my hands, right? If I have like a warm bowl of water with some sea salt in it, I can just kind of put it in there as well too. That's fine. Afterwards, I can just go wash my hands as well too, just clearing away all that debris. Okay. So I've shown you guys various techniques, certainly over the years, right? When I'm looking at my playlists on YouTube, right? We have like the BCR technique, we have conflict elimination, we have the cord removal healing. Okay. We have prana transmission technique. We have the release ball method. Okay, we even have the new abidance method that's out right now as well too. And this is just a form of pranic healing that you're doing. So I'm giving you guys a variety so that you can experiment with a lot of these different ones. Like I said, you'll find them on my playlists on my YouTube channel. Okay? And just being able to experiment. So yeah, I really prefer the BCR technique, or I really prefer the prana transmission, or now I prefer this one that Brad's doing today. That's great. I'm giving you guys variety so that you can continue to express yourself through different types of healing, because again, you can combine them together. You can bring them together in unison. You can do all 5, all 6, all 7 that I'm talking about here. I even lost count of how many I've brought out to you guys. So I have another one called the forgiveness ball, right? There's all those. I have all kinds here. They really all do the same job, but it's just based upon the person. Right? The person may really love the forgiveness ball. The person may really love the prana healing. The person may really love the BCR technique and so forth. It's all just available for you to work with, and encouraging you guys to work with it, right? We're so completely convinced and thinking that we need to go out and buy a whole bunch of healthy food, and it's good to eat well, yes, or having to have all these supplements and stuff like that. And that's not necessary, right? If you're taking 20 or 30 supplements per day, that's there's something wrong with the diet. Okay. If you have to take that many supplements per day, then your diet is not beneficial for you at all. Okay. Your diet should incorporate a lot of those things, right? Really what I'm suggesting, what I'm doing as well too, is just eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? That's it. Eating a lot of apples, oranges, bananas, grapes, kiwi fruit, melons, right? All kinds of different things, berries, etc. Eating vegetables, celery, cucumber, right? Spinach, making smoothies as well too. Here I got one right here. Here's my smoothie for the day. Okay. So again, that's what we're doing, is we're helping to eat well with the diet. That's good. And you're not pumping 20 or 30 pills of supplements each day. And like I said, if you guys are doing that, your diet is very wrong, right? It's not right. You should not be pumping 20 or 30 supplements per day, because I used to do that. I used to print, like when I was doing keto, for example, I'd be pumping in maybe about 7, 8, or 9 supplements per day. And I came back and realized, should I really be doing this? Should I really be taking that much? This is telling me this diet's not very good, right? Keto worked for me in the past, going back a couple of years, because I lost about 25, 26 pounds with it. But again, it doesn't repeat itself. You have that once or twice with keto. After that, you're done. So what I've gotten back into is a lot more of my pescatarian diet, where I'm basically having like a fish, for example, like halibut or salmon in that way. But mostly what I'm having, about 75% of the way, is fruits and vegetables. Okay. And that's actually working with me, because I'm now dropping a few more pounds just by having a lot more fruits and vegetables. So I'm kind of going back into my old pescatarian way, but having a larger concentration of fruits and vegetables. So that's something I can recommend as well too. But like I said, it's the same thing with healing. You can combine these things together, but find something that you feel works really, really well for you and work with that for some time. And like I said, any stabbing pains, any sharp pressure, any tension, anything of that nature, all of that can go. And the only reason that's there is because there's stagnancy in your own energy systems, right? The nadis, the nadi channels are blocked, okay? Channels that represent the pranic flow of your body are getting blocked. And when you start concentrating in that area, working together with something like pranic healing, you're helping to loosen all of that tension, okay? And that's all it takes, is just a matter of you being able to go in and clear out whatever debris is there, okay? All right, so guys, that is going to wrap up our broadcast today. Thank you so much for everything. Hope you enjoyed everything that was shared. So Maria here is saying the middle finger is connected to the liver and gallbladder. Yeah, I'm not concerned about what they're connected to with organs. We're looking at the elements, right? The elements in that sense represent the 5 fingers, okay? 5 fingers are the elements, etc. And this is how they're linked together with that. Now, organs in that sense all have certain forms of elemental qualities to them, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at, in that sense, what the 5 fingers represent and how they're linked to the 5 chakras, right? And that is what I've discovered, is through the earth, water, fire, air, akash, or space, or ether. Okay? That's, again, how the true nature is. Like I said, tune it in for yourself, and you'll see it, okay? So thank you again, guys, for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. So I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Also, if you guys haven't known, Radiate is going to be launching here on April 16th, okay? So April 16th will be Radiate Day. That's when the free app is going to be available. Hopefully Google Play and Apple Store are already by then. The Apple Store most definitely will be. We're just waiting for Google Play. But April 16th will be its official launch date. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be telling you guys more about that as we get closer to that time. So again, thank you again, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Bye for now.